back at WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. We are positively post-Super Bowl. We have new champions of the world. We're going to be doing the Maryland Crab Cake Tour on the 3rd of March over at Drug City in Dundalk, and we're going to be on the 8th at Fadley's. We are presenting a full month here, the rest of February, lots and lots and lots of the greatest hits and Hall of Famers and Radio Row. I mean, having Radio Row taken away from me now last week, I had to really go into the archives over 28 years, and there's still stuff I can't find, but I found over 325 what I would consider A-list pieces over 28 years. Some years I had 20 or 30 A-list pieces. Some years only 6, 8, 10, but there was never a year I didn't have 10 really classic, incredible conversations with Ravens people, league people, Hall of Famers, and all of that will be on the air. And it's all brought to you by all of our sponsors. And obviously 25 years into WNST on August the 3rd will be 25 years. Now almost 32 years into my career. It's people like Leonard Raskin and Raskin Global that make it happen and sponsor what we do. And the next couple of weeks, I'm going to chase Springsteen around a little bit. I'm going to be doing some live conversation as we're doing now as the Kansas City Chiefs are the new champions of the world, Leonard. But more than that, sort of spiking the ball on all the work we've done and taking a little downtime. But what a season, right? And what a game. And the Super Bowl really was super this year.
It was a Super Bowl. It was a Super Bowl. I believe, if memory serves, and boy, the short-term memory is just, not as good as it always was. I think I said KC by 3 last week. I think that's what I said. I might have. We'll have to check.
I said Kansas City in the over. I did that before kickoff. So I would have cashed both of my bets on the.
Yeah, I think I said KC. I said KC plus 3. I think. I don't think I said they won by 3. I think I said they get them with 3. But hey, that was an incredible game. Really an incredible football game. I was sitting with the wife. We're watching the game. No big party this year. No going away, going out anywhere. And I said to her, the last team with the ball's winning this game. There's no question. They were up and down the field, up and down the field. It was a good game. It was clean. A lot of good hits, a lot of good plays, both offense and defense. And ultimately came down to, I guess, if you're an Eagles fan, one horrible holding call. If you're a Chiefs fan, it came down to one fabulous holding call. And I guess if you're the post game, I saw the defender said, "Yeah, I held him. I was just hoping they wouldn't call it."
Well, there's an honest man. There goes an honest man in the city of brotherly love.
Because everybody in Philly was ready to find the referee's home and burn that down along with the city. But I guess he let him off the hook by saying, "Yeah, I held him. I just hoped they wouldn't call it." And then how about Chad Henne? How about Chad Henne? Announced his retirement post-game because he's critical to their success. Although he did come in when Mahomes was down a little bit and play a little football, and he's got 2 Super Bowl rings to show for it. They're going to have to find a backup now.
Remember the day that the Ravens drafted Joe Flacco, Chad Henne was the spoken the red herring, so to speak, right? Like
he was going to be the pick.
He was the guy they were targeting, but they weren't. And
right.
Peter King even reported that. I put that in Purple Rain too as well. Leonard, I had a sort of surreal experience, right? Like I have never, should I say never? I have to think of
I've
never
in memory.
No. I've never watched the Super Bowl in a sports bar. Ever
okay.
So I have to go back to like even the 90s. Leonard, before I had this, you want an American dream story with me? This is a story I haven't told on the radio maybe in a long time, but in my life. But I'm a kid from Dundalk that grew up in a little row house, right?
Yep.
I never had a big TV. I dreamed of having a VCR. My parents had one first so that I could have The Man with the Golden Gun on TV anytime I wanted to watch it, or Jaws, or, movies that we watched in the 80s, and then HBO came, and then Drug City had the movies you could rent, like all that, right? But the big screen TV, when I was 18, 19 years old and we didn't have a football team, I dreamed of going to one Super Bowl in my life, dreamed of going to one.
Yep.
And I thought if I went to one, I would consider it a successful life. I went to my first one in 1992 in Minnesota. I was at the Buffalo Redskins game. So, but at that time in my life, I was at the paper. I was a single father. I lived on Kane Street, right across from where there's McDonald's, like Eastern and Kane, right where the diner is, right where Patterson High School, 428 Kane Street. My bedroom was in the backside. My bedroom was as big as this computer, like this big, right? Tiny, right? But I had enough money. I cobbled that first $1,200 or whatever together, and I could do a vacation or this or that. I had more money than I needed because I had a $400 a month mortgage payment, right? And I lived in Highlandtown at that time, right? So Dundalk, Highlandtown, call it wherever you want, the
Yeah.
ABCs.
Yeah.
And I cobbled together to get a big screen TV. Now I could have taken that $1,200 and given it to you, and it'd be $1.3 million now, right? But I bought. I didn't go to Luskin's, but I went somewhere and I bought a big screen TV, and it had the tubes in it, the red, the green, right
in the front that projected up on the big screen,
and
weighed
I
like
watched
8,000 pounds.
I watched the Super Bowl in 93 and 94 and 95 on that television. So I was old enough to go to a bar at that time, right?
Right.
And then before that, in the 80s, we didn't have the Colts. The Redskins, Denver, they were always house parties, right? So I went to Dave Muir's house. So I went to a sports bar. I was at the Hollywood Casino up at the Barstool Sportsbook, one of our newest sponsors to join us along with Raskin Global and many others, and Costas Inn. So we went up to watch the game, and it was a lot of Eagles fans, right? Like, and really,
Sure.
and it's not a regular game. It's the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, now I find myself in a sports where there were no Chiefs fans. Like, nobody wearing any Chiefs. There were 80 Eagles fans. There were 200 people there just to watch the game. But it was unbelievable watching these Eagles fans live and die in a sports bar, you know, with the game, because I hadn't been in that environment before. And it was I feel bad for them. I mean, on the call, I mean, you know, that'll live forever, right? Did you like the call or no?
No, I thought it was a good call.
Okay.
And I had no dog in the hunt. I have friends for both teams. I was texting with friends on both teams. Both were at the game. And they don't know each other. They were literally sitting a section apart. They were shooting me back texts of pictures of where they were sitting. My Eagles friend texted me the video. So he was recording some of the game. I know it's illegal. I erased it as soon as I got it. He texted me. He texted me Jalen Hurts touchdown run. He was sitting right there on the goal line. And the other guy texted me Jalen Hurts touchdown run from right behind the corner of the end zone. So he's a Chiefs fan. So they were back and forth. They don't know each other. I was back and forth with both of them. Couldn't believe what I was watching. And I like that call in the first quarter, and I like that call in the fourth quarter. I think you got to make the call. If you're the referee or the linesman or whoever you are, your job is to watch the game and make the call. Your job is not to say, oh, no, 2 minutes in the Super Bowl, I got to give Philly a chance. Your job is to make the call. They made the call. I thought earlier in the game, the second fumble touchdown return for the same guy who would have been the MVP of the game for sure. I don't know in this league what's a catch anymore. I can't tell. The catch on the guy's head, he goes out of bounds, and he's dropping the ball. They call it a catch.
Well, then there's the whole thing where you run up to the line of scrimmage and try to screw him out of it real quick.
Before looking at it. So you knew it wasn't a –
I'm not a fan of that in playoff games especially, you know.
No, you knew it was a catch. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, you'll know better than me. I think it was Harbaugh a couple years ago proposed a rule that they have an eye in the sky watching every play and able to push the button and make a replay call like they do in college. That should be the case. They absolutely need somebody else than – however many they have on the field. The game's too big, too fast. These guys
and there's
and gals,
money being bet on these games.
These guys and gals can't keep up. And I don't think they review that holding call, but these catches and things like that, I don't even know what a catch is. The guy caught the ball. He takes a step. He makes a move. He didn't take two steps. The ball was dislodged. That's a catch and a fumble and a touchdown for the Chiefs. But it wasn't. So my opinion is the football gods always even up the score, and you get screwed on one play, you get the benefit on another. That it was a hold, there's no doubt. Juju, it was Juju, right? Our Steeler friend, who you got to hate, but they came through. They played a great game. The Kelsey boys both had a good game. Nothing spectacular either one, but they both had a good game.
Well, you can't hate on Andy Reid, right? If you have some Orlando Brown
Andy
Jr.
Reid's
thing.
fantastic. Andy Reid's fantastic. Look, the guy is revolutionary. His play calling is stunning. His red zone, if we had half the red zone play calls that he made, we'd have been in the Super Bowl. We can't call the red zone for nothing. The man scores every time he's down there. The second half, they scored every possession. They just marched the ball down the field, score, score, score. 3 of them touchdowns. I mean, geez, it's fun to watch offensive football. It's good to watch defensive football, but 38-35, that's a score right there. That's a big, what was the over under? I don't even know. What was it?
It was in the 40s, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, they put up what, 70 plus points. That's a big offensive turnout. It was a great game. I thought the commercials sucked. You don't get to watch the game every year, so you don't see all the commercials that everybody raves about. I thought there were maybe three at the most, 4 that were really good. The rest I thought were pretty terrible. The Pepsi, so we'll talk about one of them. I'll talk about one. I guess shouldn't berate them on the air. You know the Pepsi commercial with Ben Stiller? Did you see that one? Did you catch that one?
I did not.
So he's an actor.
I don't really watch the commercial. It's funny. I go pee.
Okay, well,
funny.
He's an actor.
You know what I mean? I really do.
He's an actor. He's putting on an act. He's acting. He's putting on an act. And then he drinks the Pepsi and he goes, that was really good. Or am I acting? You know, that was the gist of the commercial. So they, I'm on social media. I clicked there was a Pepsi tweet said, did you think Ben Stiller likes the soda or was acting? So I said he was acting. A couple minutes later, I get a tweet from Pepsi. We're sorry to hear that. They said, we're sorry to hear that. We're willing to offer you a free soda to find out. So then they give me a number to text. So I texted the number. So then the screw comes. You got to buy a 6-pack. You got to send them the receipt online. Then they send you a credit for your 6-pack.
You know,
they're not sending me a free soda. I got to buy soda. And then I got to give them the receipt so they can give me back my money. I just deleted it. I ain't got time for all that nonsense.
I hate a scam. Leonard Raskin is here. He's here to keep you away from all scams and sort of
That's
like
right.
the Ovaltine thing in the Christmas Story. He is a Raskin Global. He takes your money and helps you do more with it. And I guess the reason I told the TV story to some degree, because I was on the radio back then. I mean, I watched on that big screen TV in my bedroom, famously, with Mike Resigliano, great artist whose work you'll be seeing in the Peter Principle soon, as well as I re-release that. Rasig came over to watch that Oiler-Bills comeback game back in the 90s at my house. I had a giant 52-inch TV in a bedroom that may have been 74 inches wide.
Right.
Like, I'm serious, right? So it took in my bed, it was like a theater, right?
Right.
So for me, why would I go to a sports bar in the 90s, right? So then I started going to games. I went to the Super Bowl in Sun Devil Stadium, the Barry Switzer Super Bowl, the Neil O'Donnell Super Bowl, and I've been to everyone since, right? Like literally, other than Tampa 2 years ago, which I did watch on TV, on a big screen TV. I live downtown, right?
Right.
But big screen TV doesn't like connotate the same thing that it used to connotate. But when you think about the American dream for me, at 21 in 1989, being a kid from Dundalk, no radio show. I'm working at the paper, putting my nickels together, making good lower middle class money for a kid, right? And it's what I was. My dream was to have a big screen TV, right? Now you can go buy them for $299, put them anywhere in the world, hit a button, watch any movie you want, anytime, anything, anywhere. It's amazing how. And 28 years into going to Super Bowls, my dream is to get my press pass back and be legitimized again. But that's it for another day.
Right.
But it is amazing, like when I think about what I used to save money for, and what.
Well, you know,
to me, watching the Super Bowl on a big screen TV in my home in 1993 was a dream. It was really a dream. Yeah,
I get it. I mean, I didn't think I'd go to a Super Bowl, and I've been to both of them that the Ravens were at. You know, when the Ravens played, I was there. I've been to the playoff games. The only playoff game I missed was Oakland. I figured I might get hurt in Oakland if I went to the game in Ravens Garden.
Rasig went to that game, but he sat with the Mulatalo brothers.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. I mean, it's the only place I figured they might hurt me because I'm that kind of fan. I'm that kind of visiting fan that doesn't hold back. And I've been threatened at places, and I've been, harassed at a lot of places, but I thought I'd actually get hurt in Oakland. So I've
had dog bones thrown at me in the upper deck in Cleveland, at the new stadium,
I've
and
had
at the
full
lower
beers
deck
thrown
in
at
Oilers.
my head.
Yeah, I've had all that going on. Come on.
You know,
Yeah.
it's nuts. But I've never had anybody swing on me, and I thought in Oakland I might have somebody swing on me or knife me or something, so I chose not to go. But I've been to the 2 Super Bowls, and like you, man, growing up poor in Randallstown, a 3-bedroom apartment with mom and 2 sisters. It was we didn't have a big screen TV. We had a little, I think, a 19-inch on a swivel table that you used to turn the swivel. The swivel table had wheels. We used to turn it around between the living room and the dining room so we could watch the news during dinner.
I felt
So,
like a big shot because I had a TV in my room. My bedroom was black and white Monkey Wards. And I literally, every memory I have of Howard Cosell and every memory I have of him reading the Oilers highlights
yeah,
in 77, 78, 79 was on a little black and white Monkey
yeah,
Wards
right,
TV
right.
at 10:15 at night. You know, I should be in bed, you know, like all of
Yep.
that, right?
Well,
Like,
I worked at Murphy Mart. I worked at Murphy Mart on Liberty Road back in the day, and I was in the electronics section, and I used to sell 13-inch Samsungs, and people were like, "Who's Samsung?" I don't know, some Korean TV maker or something, but it looks like it's got a pretty good picture. And we had it hooked up with the rabbit ears. And my job every day when I went in was to turn every TV on and make sure there was something on the channel every day that people could watch so they could come in and see the Samsung next to the RCA, next to the whatever. And when I
and hey, the
saved up enough,
13-inch Samsung was somebody's American dream. Did
hey
it save
man, I
some
bought,
money,
you were
right?
just saying, I bought one for my bedroom after I worked a little while. I had me a 13-inch Samsung in the bedroom and I was king of the world. Not only that, but I had a really cool, clear telephone in my room, and we had a little jack in my room. I got hooked up so I could be on the phone with my
So
girlfriend
I
without
was
without
at the
having the
Drive
family
game,
listen.
1986. I was at the Drive game in Cleveland, and I was the only one with a television. It was black and white. It was a little Sony
Oh
that
yeah.
that
We
had the
sold those.
television,
Yep.
and I literally had the replays in the
Yep.
section because
Wow.
I was watching the game. Because having it on radio didn't tell me
Right,
anything, you know.
right.
But I literally had
They were
that
locked up.
television with me.
Those things were like $299.99, and they were locked up in the glass
I think
case.
this was 189.99
Yeah,
in
you might have got it
Lusters.
on
Yeah.
sale. You probably
Well,
got it on
cheapest
sale
guy
from
in
the
town,
cheapest
Jack.
guy in
Yeah,
town.
Jack
Yeah.
had that. You know that.
Jack had the stuff. He had the goods. I lived right there on Liberty Road, Jack. We were at Jack's all the
Jack
time.
was at the end of my street, man. Every
Oh,
Polaroid camera that
yep.
you know, my parents, the VCR that we bought, all
How
of
about
that
the
came.
flash bar? You remember
Sylvania.
the remember the flash bar?
Oh,
Used to sit on top of the camera, not the
yeah.
cubes, not the cubes. The bar had like
You
a
look at that and you'd see
10,
the Ravens logo before the Ravens were here because it's all
right,
purple. It was just a big
10,
purple
and then
plume.
after you shot 5, you had to take it out and flip it over to shoot the other 5 on your Instamatic 126 film. I sold the film. I sold the cubes.
Hey, don't touch that. Don't touch that picture. It's developing. Don't touch it. Leave it there.
And don't touch that flash cube because it was burning hot
Hot.
right after it flashed. You'd burn the
Yeah.
out of your hands.
So
That's what
anyway, I
it's
guess the
about.
American dream is like whatever we can
Start
put
wherever.
$100 together. It
That's
was my
exactly
American
right.
dream to get that cheap trick belt buckle, and I finally got
There
one.
you
You
go.
know, right?
It's whatever it is that money does for you that's more important than money itself. You know, I tell people all the time. I meet lots of people that have a little bit of money, and I meet a lot of people that have a lot of money. And what I know is the people that are the happiest, doesn't matter how much they have. It's what they do. It's what they do. We're heading out. You talked about heading out of town a little bit. We're heading out the weekend for the face-off on the lake. Should be an interesting time. There's an outdoor hockey game, Ohio State, Michigan, Saturday afternoon at the Cleveland
What's the date
Stadium.
on that? When is that game?
18th
of February. So
Saturday.
that's this week. All
That's
right.
this week, yeah. So we're going out to the Browns Stadium, which I've never been in, but not to watch the Browns, to watch the Buckeyes and that team up north play ice hockey, because the boy is going to be doing Script Ohio on ice in the band, which is going to be very cool to watch. It is going to be probably pretty cold, but it's going to be very cool.
All right. So I got a place for you. Okay.
Yep.
And I'm going to send you, and it's one of the best breakfast places I've ever been, and you'll have no problem remembering this because I'm sponsored by the Maryland Lottery. It's their 50th anniversary.
Yep.
It's called Lucky's Cafe in Tremont. You
Beautiful.
need to get there early Early. There will be a line around the building like there was up at the Philly Pretzel Factory on Sunday
Like
before
how
the
early?
like, yeah, you know, it opens at 9. You got to get there at 8:30. You know, you need to get there and get
How long's
settled.
breakfast?
As long as you make it, it's
No, no,
delicious.
no. I mean, they serve till what?
Oh, till
10?
2, till 2,
Oh,
9 till
good.
2.
I could get there at 9:30, 10 o'clock.
But then you're going to wait till 11:30 or 12 o'clock to get a
Oh,
takeaway.
oh, I see. I see. Okay.
Ah,
Got
see,
it.
I'm trying to. Your time is valuable, Leonard Raskin.
Yes,
You
because after
know,
that, we're going to see the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We had to choose Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Cleveland, NFL Hall of Fame Canton. I have the day Sunday. We're going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I would completely agree with that move because of proximity. And
Yeah.
I would tell you, you should go to the Football Hall of Fame at a point where you have more time for it.
Yeah.
And even more so, like you'll go back out for a game. You'll find
Yeah.
another reason on life's
Absolutely.
highway to get to Canton,
Absolutely.
right? I would
Yeah.
also tell you you should do the Christmas Story area. It's right by Tremont. As you drive over there, Uber over there, wherever you're
Yep.
doing, check that out. I love Cleveland, man. You're gonna have a great weekend. What's
Yeah.
the forecast? Is it going to be in the 40s or is it going to be in the
40. It's like low 40s and sunny, no chance of rain. That's not so bad.
You
I
know, the
can live
problem is
with
going to
that.
be the glare off the ice now, right?
Yeah, right. I don't think it's going to be that bad. Right. They have that problem when they're playing. They do have a problem when they're playing that the ice has to be cold enough and the players have to be able to see. It's all kinds of something going on. Who knows what? All I know is the boy's going to be out there doing Script Ohio on ice. He's going to be in the Big O, and we'll get to record
They'll
that
do the
one.
Winter Classic in Vegas and in Miami before it's all over with. They did it outdoors before.
Absolutely.
Leonard Raskin
Absolutely.
manages money. He takes care of your American dream. I love this segment because I got to tell the story of me collecting all of my widgets to watch the Super Bowl on a big screen TV,
That's
thinking
it.
that was I had it made watching Leon Lett.
Absolutely.
The Leon
And
Lett
you had,
play was on my big
oh, it was
screen
so
TV in my
funny.
bedroom for
And
sure.
you
You
had
know?
more money than any other kid in the
I
world your
felt like the
age.
richest man in the world
And
that
you
day.
were. And you were.
I
That's the
got
beauty of
wings
it.
from Bateman's, you know what I
Oh,
mean, over in
how good
Dundalk,
is
you know what I
that?
mean?
How good is
I
that?
think I even got a cheesesteak from Captain Harvey's that day, and God, I'd sell my soul for one of those right now. Leonard Raskin manages money in the American dream. That collect that and bring me one of those if you can. Also, you could bring me something from Hausner's if you want. You get all these places
Right.
that are long gone.
Strawberry cake, strawberry pie.
Yeah, you'd sell your soul for that, wouldn't you, Leonard
There
Raskin?
you go.
All right, man. The American Dream is alive. Go to RaskinGlobal.com. Leonard is at the front of Baltimore Positive and at the forefront of managing our money and making sure that we're doing sensible things around here. And he can be sensible with you as well. If you want to be unsensible, come on over with me and get one of those spiked milkshakes over at Drug City at the Fountain on the 3rd of March. We'll be in Dundalk with our friends. George is going to be with us. Chuck, everybody's going to be with us. Mr. Statham is coming over that day. I know he's got some Pikesville connections as well as some Dundalk connections in teaching 62 years. I think he taught in Baltimore. It's like crazy. On March 3rd, we're going to bring him together, and then we're going to be at Fadley's on the 8th. It's all brought to you by the Maryland Lottery and their 50th anniversary and our friends at Window Nation, 866-90-NATION. I am Nestor. We are WNST, AM 1570. We never stop talking Radio Row history. It's Radio Row month. Enjoy these classic conversations here at WNST.